Hello, Frugal Pack. This is the Frugal Gamer presenting a Dead Island review for the PlayStation 3. One might ask yourself, who do you voodoo? Dead Island was released in 2011. It's an action role-playing game mixed with survival as a survival horror game. It was created by developer Techland and published by a studio named Deep Silver. This game was also released on other platforms like the Xbox 360, as well as Windows and things. And it's a zombie game, so if you enjoy slashing zombies, you might want to watch this video and see if this game is for you. This game has been out for a little while, and you can get this game for, if you're looking around, to be honest, if you keep a good eye out, you can get it under $10. There is a lot of content in this game. It's not a short game, so you do get a lot of money off of it. This game has spawned sequels as well as spin-offs that are related to it, even though it's different types of gameplay. Now, I will present a review, an honest review with my reactions. There's pros and cons to this game. So Dead Island features what seems to be open world roaming. There is a linear path you follow on the game, but there's side missions and things like that that can help you go all over the map. And you do have relatively large areas of exploration. It's considered a first-person perspective because you'll see your hands, and so you don't get the third person, but it's first person like a shooter would. But unlike a shooter game, this game is more of a melee-based game. It's an action mixed with role-playing that uses an experience-based gameplay and character customization, whereas you can show skill trees and build them up. Now, as I show here in the beginning, this is the beginning cutscene of the game. The graphics are not superior. To be honest, they could have been better, which is quite interesting the way they took with this game. They gave us a trailer that was deep, an emotional trailer to the game. But when you play the game, it plays more like a B movie for a horror genre, which has elements of fun to it, actually, that I liked, and sometimes I wish it was maybe more dark and things like that, but sometimes I enjoyed its lightness. It does have a tongue-in-cheekness to it. The game has extras involved in it that you get. Now, the one I'm reviewing here is the Game of the Year edition. And now even the regular edition has a lot of these comments. It just has one little addition here. You have trophies and things that you earn by doing certain things throughout the game. As I show here, by doing certain types of kills and accomplishing certain things, you will earn trophies in this game. And there's a vast amount of trophies that you can get. So it does add some extra playability to this game to try to get those things. Now, what I'm going to do is just show you some of a quest here as I talk and show you what's going on. Now, this game takes place in a fictional island, in a way, and it's like a tropical resort. But what I'm showing you footage is the next area you move into. So you go from tropical resorts to burned out, crappy, low-end cities to sewers and things like that, which adds some neat elements as the story evolves. Now, granted, the story moves at a slow pace. But it does have a part, some opening to it as you go, going, wonder what happened here, because you pick from a choice of several different characters, and I'll go into that shortly. So as you see here, the graphics is a first-person view, the melee type. You have a health bar in the left corner. You also build up what's called a fury meter, where you can unleash even more harsh attacks based on, I guess, fear built up and things over time. And you have a map. Now, here's one of my problems with the game, is the map is a bit clunky. It's not always very easy and accurate to use. It's a little misleading at times. And one of the other cons I have in it is when you play multiplayer, sometimes the map functions of finding your locations or where you're supposed to go doesn't always show right. One of the problems I had with this game initially, and a lot of people did, is it had a lot of bugs in it. But I'll go into that later. So here, as you see, there's a skill tree. As you earn by doing things and earning points and you earn experience, you gain levels and you get a skill tree. And you have 3 sections in each character's skill tree. And each character is different and has different specialities. But by giving points and adding to the elements in your skill tree, you can customize your character from anywhere from being able to stomp on a zombie's head and have it splat, to being able to knock down zombies easier, to be able to get undetected as easy, or to be detected, depending what character you choose, as well as healing and things like that nature, are getting cheaper cost on products and things like that. Now, granted, I'm not going to go into details of my preferences for a class in here, but I just want to let you know that those options are available. And that gives other opportunities and playability of the game. Now here, as I show you, find weapons and things too, and you get to select through the weapons that you choose to use. Here I'm just throwing out some bare knuckles and a good old classic kick. Here I'm going to select a different weapon here. Here we go. As you see, that's just the weapon selection. You hit a button, you can change weapons. There's another set of knuckles. And there's another thing. If you notice when I'm swinging, you have a stamina bar. So you can't just swing wildly. You will run out of energy and have to catch your breath. There's a sickle. The character here is Sam B, and his actual benefit is using blunt weapons. He's a powerhouse, more of a tank kind of character, where someone are bladed weapons. One's a gun kind of user. And you'll see here that you collect things. You find scraps of items and you use money and things, which you'll go to workbenches and help build up your items, which adds one thing that a lot of people hate in this. What I liked, though, is your weapons degrade over time. So as you use them, they will break. They won't last as long. They get bloody and messed up, and they just aren't as effective anymore. And so you have to carry certain weapons with you and constantly repair them. The game does give you enough money to repair them fairly easily. But still, there was a lot of complaint about that. And I guess some people exploited some glitches to constantly dupe their weapons as well. But, I think that took away from the game. The survivor horror part is, okay, I got to maintain these weapons, keep them, get good enough weapons that way I can survive this. You can make bombs and things with blueprints you find. There's skulls that you find if you place in certain hidden other spots. It'll give you special blueprints, too, for other weapons that are incredibly powerful. So to be honest, there is a lot of blueprints that you can earn and find and gain from missions and things to add a lot more playability too. Because what kind of weapon do you prefer to use? You can throw weapons, and one of the character's speciality is throwing weapons. Or you can throw them and pick them up, so you can hit things from a distance, which you will need to do. You can shoot things if you have a gun and bullets, which bullets tend to be a bit scarce. And how you choose to modify your weapons. Do you burn them? Do you have to puncture them? And things like that. Now, the way this game works is there is a main mission that you follow, but during that main mission there is many, and I do mean many, side quests. Whereas you'll be doing side jobs and things like that. Now, granted, it adds a lot of hours of playability to this game, and it does give you a lot of options. You can do a quick playthrough from front to back, or you can do the long route and do everything you possibly can. What I did is I did the long route. I did all the side missions I could possibly find, and found that this game adds quite a bit of value to your money. Though I will say, by doing these missions, it does tend to get repetitive. Because you feel like, okay, here's another quest mission, find, hunt this, return this, and that kind of thing. So it does have that issue with it. Now, as I said, this game, there's a fast travel there. You'll also have fast travel, so you don't have to take the long way to different things. You can drive vehicles, too, and run zombies over and go that route. But you can also fast travel and speed up the time it takes. As I said, there's a lot of different visuals in this game, which I think make it appealing, from tropical island to slummy city. As you see here, there's blood. You can see there was definitely a zombie issue around here, and that's why people are hiding in buildings. And as you scavenge and look for things to find new ways to build new items and create bombs and things. The zombies do have a pack mentality, which they can gang up on you. So now we're looking at, while I'm showing you some of the action in this, and I'm going to get into a little bit on the characters, let me tell you about some of the cons too. As I mentioned already, the map can be a bit wonky. It doesn't always give you adequate representation of where you should be going. Sometimes the hit detection makes you wonder a little bit too. It seems a little clunky. When you're playing with multiplayer, where the true fun really could be, in my opinion, there lies some of the issues as well. The maps tend to not always pop up for all the people, and if somebody loses connection for just a second, it could screw up everybody's game. There's a good old classic head stomp there, by the way. As you see, this game does have some core to it. So that is some of the bugs I found in this game. Like, for example, I was playing with one person, he was on Wi-Fi. His Wi-Fi disconnected for just a second, and he was driving. It left me in the passenger seat in a vehicle that wouldn't stop running and just kept running. It would clear off the map and just bugged out like crazy. And so we do have those kinds of issues. Now, the game I thought was fun. I mean, look at here. I'm bashing zombies. If you like bashing zombies, it is pretty darn cool. But as I said, it can get repetitive. And that's where it comes an interesting component to me. I found this game very fun, and I bought the next incarnation, Riptide, and I'll review that later. But I was playing Riptide, and I sort of felt like I was bored most of the way through the game, and I was thinking and considering, why did I feel this way? And then I realized why. Most of the time I played Dead Island, I played with a friend, or multiple friends, and that's where the fun of this game truly is. Granted, there is an element of eeriness being in a sewer by yourself, wondering where the next zombie is. But there's just something fun about having a group of people, because the more people you add to it, the more zombies and stuff they throw at you. Working together, covering each other's back, trying to keep each other alive as you're getting attacked by a horde of zombies is exhilarating and fun. And you get to blab and talk and have a fun time while doing it. The game also has different types of zombies. Here are some of the regular ones. There's ones that if you get close to, they'll explode, so you want to hit them from a distance. There's thugs, which are bigger zombies that will hit you and nearly kill you in one hit. And there's things like rams and things. But I don't want to show and give away all the stuff in the game. I just want to give you enough of an idea to see what you're getting into. As you see here, as I mentioned, the graphics are okay. They're nothing spectacular, but they're pretty good. They're passable. And see, I'm just bashing stuff left and right, and you collect money from these things and items, and you continue to build off of that. Next, I'll show you a little bit about the characters of Dead Island. You have a selection for the main game to select between 4 characters. You have Sam, B, Zaime, Logan, and Purina. Each character has different specialities. And by doing that, you can play the game multiple times, and each way, play it with a different style of play. For example, Sam B is probably the best beginning character because he's a tank. This is Logan. He throws things. That's his main point. Each character has different health and stamina. Karina, she's a shooter. Zion, she uses bladed weapons with speciality, and Sam B is your bruiser. Now, if you buy the Game of the Year, you get an additional bit of content. You get what's called the Rider White campaign. Now, that part is different. It does not go with the main story of the game. It's a completely different story, and it's a shooter-based. It still uses the game's mechanics, which has been criticized a little bit for not being great for shooting. But I liked it. I thought it was okay and passable. I didn't think it was that bad. Each character has a bit of a redemption story to them. You can tell they've had a problem in life. So these are flawed characters to begin with. And these are the characters, you pick one to run through the game. And the interesting thing is, for some reason, these characters at this point do not appear to be affected by the outbreak that's creating these zombies. But I don't want to get into too much detail because that unfolds later, and I'll explain a little bit of that in my Riptide review. So ultimately, this game has those characters. Each one has something special. Now, the marketing for this game was very successful. It had a very awesome campaign, as I said, with a really deep trailer. But ultimately, the game didn't really match that way. Overall, the game had a good response to it. The reception was pretty good, but there was some criticizing, and rightfully so. This game had many glitches. They had to offer a lot of patches, and even with those patches, there were still glitches. This game does suffer from some texture loading. Sometimes you'll wait and have to wait for some detail to load, which could, it doesn't look good whenever that happens, but I didn't find it causing any issues in the gameplay at this point. The atmosphere and overall feel of the game are very good. There's a pro points, and I think that outweighs the negatives of the game, even though the negatives should definitely be explored. This game has lots of potential. It just almost felt like, though, it couldn't find its way. It needed to decide, is this going to be a horror, drawn-out survival horror, or a slapstick B-movie slasher? And based on the way the people spoke and things like that, which was pretty like hard caricatures, if you will, it seemed to really rely on more of the B-movie slasher style, which is why I think it caused a conflict. If they would have went with that attitude in the first place, people would have expected that. But instead, they were almost expecting a deep, rich story, character-driven, and that's not what they got. It's sort of like a, haha, we fooled you. So ultimately, the game was very successful. It sold more than 5 million copies. It spun sequels, as well as one Riptide, which is sort of a... Some people say it's sort of like an add-on, but it's not. It's its own separate game, but it's more of the same, and I'll go over that. So overall, is this game worth the money? Well, first of all, if you could buy it, You don't need to pay full price to get the game of the year. You can probably get this game under $10. It is a lot of game for your money. If you are a zombie fan, this game is probably for you. If you are a hardcore realism fan and things, it might not be for you. This is a great game, in my opinion, to link up with friends and just have a good old zombie bashing time. If not, you may find the game repetitive. Graphics are okay, but nothing spectacular. So overall, for a low price point, you can get this game for under $20. And as I said, you can get it for much less than that if you really look. You could probably get it for $8, sometimes even $6. I think it's well worth your money. It does get repetitive, as I said, but you can mix it up by changing your weapons and things like that. Character trees allow that. And multiple gameplay ability by playing different characters. You can choose to do the side missions and make it take longer, or just go and progress through the main story. The story does unfold a little slow, a little goofy, wonky. It still leaves a lot of questions at the end, but that's because it sets it up for sequels. So, once again, good game. Could have been better. Had mistakes. Is it worth the money? I think so. I would not rent this game because this game is too long. You'll be wasting your money unless you have one of those rental deals where you can keep it as long as you like. Part of the fun is making things different, like building different weapons, making crazy things that are on fire and with blades at the end of them, things like that. So overall, I say, you know what, I'd give it a shot if you're a zombie fan or a first-person shooter fan. If you're not into those kinds of things, probably not. If you have online connectivity and play it with people, it makes it even more fun. If not, you might get a little bored, repetitive. Alright, well, I hope you found this review helpful. I know it was a bit on the long side, but I wanted to make it extensive so you truly got to see what this game has to offer. Overall, keep on playing, and please let me know if you like this video so I can help you out in any way possible with addressing any of your questions, as well as if there's any games that you would like me to review. So please feel free to hit that like button or subscribe to help me out to know to keep these things up. Otherwise, have a good day, stay frugal. The Frugal Gamer does not receive any money from game manufacturers. The views expressed are my own, and you may or may not agree with them. So, enjoy slashing those zombies, and let's keep it frugal, fans. Thank you.